Arabs are the inheritors of an extraordinary civilization, one that stretches back now in its modern forms for about a millennium and a half. First of all, there's the language. The Arabic language is one of the, in my opinion, one of the most extraordinary constructions of the human mind.
Language of poetry.
It's a language of poetry, it's a language of mysticism and theology, it's a language of law, it's a language of extraordinary humor, for example, and narration. I mean, some of the great feats of narrative skill, the Arabian Nights, the travels of Ibn Battuta, etc., are written in Arabic. So there's that. It's also one of the great religions of the world, which is in Arabic. I mean, the Quran is the word of God in the Arabic language.
المفكر الفلسطيني ادوارد سعيد يتحدث بكل شغف عن اللغة العربية في حوار جمعه مع الصحفي والمحلل السياسي الأمريكي بيل مويرز.
You're really fascinated with that language, aren't you? As a writer, you're a professor.
Well, it's not only a rich language, it's been so much maligned, you know, because it's considered to be a very difficult language. In fact, it's not. But it's characterized, it's interesting, a lot of the attacks and the cultural attacks on the Arabs focus on the language that's considered to be a language of violence, of bombast, of sort of awful portentousness. It isn't, in fact.
يستفيض ادوارد سعيد في حديثه عن الحضارة العربية الإسلامية.
The range in geography is fantastic. You have the great civilization of the fertile plains like Syria and Iraq, and then you have the Andalusian civilization of the Arabs in southern Spain, really up to the center of Spain, and then you have an entirely different kind of sort of hybrid Arab civilization in North Africa, mingling with southern African art and tradition and customs with Islam. And then you have Egypt, which is a sui generis kind of a combination of Arab and Pharaonic civilizations. Morocco, right through to the Gulf. The language is that of all the Arabs. There's a lingua franca, which is amazingly alive, and a literature that goes along with it.